Lie. Yake 10 na ya Ruto 10.
I was elected to serve the people of Kenya. Those who voted, those who didn't vote.
Mimi sitaki 10 sahi. Nataka tuandikiane kwanza hii mkataba ya miaka 5.
Kazi haisi na tamu moja ama tamu mbili. Kazi lazima iendelee.
Nikifaulu kwa hii miaka 5 muniongezee. Lakini nikianguka kwa hii miaka 5 mtafute mtu mwingine.
Sisi haja yetu ni maendeleo ya watu yetu.
Those who are interviewing their candidate in Safari Park interviewed their candidate to safeguard their own interests.
We took the hard route, to the disappointment, unfortunately, even of some of my own friends.
Ile historia tunataka tu ni ya Nakuru. Ati 10 ya nani? Na 10 ya nani?
We have a disconnect.
Sisi hatuwezi kuchanganya mtu. Tukiweka ahadi, tutatimiza hiyo ahadi.
Nyinyi muna uwezo wa kurudi mitaani, vijijini, pahali mmetoka kuanzisha debate.
Kazi ya bwana kitendawili hapa Nyamira iko wapi?
Baba yuko na Uhuru, Muigai wa Kenyatta, wivu wa nini?
Kwa hii mashindano, ni mashindano ya urembo ama ya kazi?
Wewe William Ruto, baba sio saizi yako, Raila Odinga si saizi yako.
Saa hii miaka karibu inafika 80 ndio atajua kupanga vile kazi itafanyika.
Hata William Ruto tunamwambia, wewe ujue Raila bwana saizi yako.
Hii watu ya kuzimika wamepotea.
Mkatae muradi unaitwa Raila Amolo Odinga.
Wacha Raila awe project, wacha awe muradi, hata awe CDF, yeye nikampigia kura ya rais.
Nyinyi mnadanganya baba kwa nini? Musalia amemwacha. Wetangula amewacha yeye. Kalonzo amekataa mambo yake. Watu ya mlima wamekataa. Atapitia wapi? Sasa huyu Sabina Chege akasema tutajaribu kumuibia kura tuone kama atapita.
We are not interested in rigging because Baba is people's project.
Wakimuita kuandikisha statement ni nini anajua juu ya mpango ya kuiba kura.
Hiyo sasa ni azimio la wizi.
Wewe una heshima?
Wale watumwa wa project azimio.
Wewe una heshima?
Even if you have very good ideas, but you listen with such a video, matusi, it all goes down to zero.
Usipigie kiongozi kwa sababu ya chama na sio kiongozi mzuri.
If you don't go to the negotiating table with a political party, a political outfit, wewe hauko kwa hiyo meza, wewe ni chakula, you are part of the menu.
Well, that is all that transpired within the past 1 week. And in the interest of those joining us right now, allow me to reintroduce my guest. Joining us this evening is Honorable William Kamket, the Tier 2 Member of Parliament, as well as Nelson Havi, former LSK President and Westland Constituency MP aspirant, as well as David Matsanga, who's just prepping virtually. I'll bring him in later on in the course of the discussion to tell us more about the ICC case that just began today. Gentlemen, thank you very much for making time for us and having a look at that weekly wrap. Of course, one of the biggest stories was the perceived endorsement of Raila Odinga by the head of state, and many have argued that the gloves are off. We are looking at the NDC meeting coming on the 25th and on the 26th, and also a possible tour by President Uhuru Kenyatta in the central Kenya region. So my first question tonight is, as we are moving into that possible tour of President Uhuru Kenyatta and tying it with what he told us a few months ago that he would tell us the reasons as to why he fell off with the second in command. Maybe if I begin with the Honorable Kamket, do we expect this to be the stage where he reveals to us why that happened?
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you for inviting me this evening. I am equally looking forward to the President visiting his backyard. Yeah. I do not want to speculate what he's going to say. I think Kenyans will be waiting to hear what he's going to say. But I think as to whether he is supporting his deputy, that's already a problem.
and the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. But what is fundamental is this. President Uhuru Kenyatta is a lame duck president. He's on his way out. What the people of Kenya must concentrate on are the ideas that have been put forth by the presidential election candidates. And in Kenya Kwanza, we have said the people of Kenya will matter first. It will not be a case where a few individuals meet up in hotels, meet up in offices to determine the choice insofar as the election of the President of the Republic of Kenya is concerned. To that extent, therefore, I do not see whatever pronouncements will come out of the mouth of President Uhuru Kenyatta as being damning or as lessening the continued strength with which Deputy President William Samoei Ruto has been progressing with to show how viable his presidency will be. We do not harbor any doubt as to this. And of course, with tremendous respect to the president, what can you come and tell us about your deputy president that we don't know? We've seen this thing play out. We know who the aggressor is. Were it not for the entry of Raila Amolo Odinga into the Jubilee administration, were it not the purchase of parliament, were it not for the emasculation of the opposition, we will not be here. And the buck stops with President Uhuru Kenyatta. He cannot come and tell us that, look, this is the reason as to why we fell out in our journey. We know why they fell out. They fell out because Raila Amolo Odinga became the interloper in an otherwise happy marriage.
All right. Well, when you look at the Kenyan political scene, all politics is local. And you've talked of the Kenya Kwanza Alliance and looking at the Mount Kenya region, according to the latest polls, at least with the statistics that have been provided on different platforms, Deputy President enjoys immense support in the region. Now, we saw what happened with the previous Sagana meeting when it came to the BBI situation. When the president went in there, there was a drastic change in terms of the support of that particular document. And I want to bring to your attention what one of the members of parliament, that is Kanini Kega, said. He said that when the president comes into the Mount Kenya region, you're going to see a shift, as was the case with the BBI case, and the mountain will move in one direction. Now, looking at a party that enjoys, or basically the Mount Kenya region is the stronghold of the party, you don't think this is going to have any effect?
Look, I've monitored the political path of President Uhuru Kenyatta and Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. Remember in 2002, who was at the forefront of campaigning for President Uhuru Kenyatta? Then it was Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. Look at the energy, look at the passion with which he is determined to serve the people of Kenya. And I can say without any fear of contradiction, the reason as to why Deputy President William Samoei Ruto enjoys popular support in Mount Kenya is because of the manifestation of what he has done, is because of the realization of the people of Mount Kenya. And let's just not isolate it to Mount Kenya, the entire Kenyan population. They have realized that for us to succeed, you need to give this enormous responsibility to somebody who works, somebody who has the wherewithal, somebody who has the propulsion, somebody who has the energy, and not to make a mistake of giving this responsibility to an individual who, for all practical purposes, will be a project controlled by somebody who will have already left office. And BBI cannot be an example as to how the environment will tilt in the event that President Uhuru Kenyatta says what he has promised to say. I do not think so. BBI was a project that was not people-oriented from the beginning, just as Raila Amolo Odinga is a project that is not people-oriented. It is a project of an individual who doesn't want to exit office, but wants to remotely control his succession.
All right, let me bring in Honorable Kamket. As you pick up from where you've left, you've had leaders allied to the UDA faction state very clearly that the deputy president enjoys immense support. But on the other side of this equation, you have the fact that they came in as a ticket, and he probably enjoyed that support because he had President Uhuru Kenyatta on his side.
I hope I'm audible now.
Yes.
I was saying at the beginning, I had said it without the benefit of what my friend Mr. Havi has said now, that, politics is a social contract. And is the end of the social contract is the recommendation of his own boss.
Yes.
That is a crushing lack of confidence on him by his own boss. Two, I hear what Honorable, I wish you the very best. I've called you Honorable, but I wish you the very best. What former President Havi has said, that President Kenyatta has entered lame duck stage. It's okay, granted.
Yeah.
We will, I'm sure, those of us who are aligned to the other side will accept all kind of jibes against us. But I will say this. Yes, the President of the Republic is exiting. That puts him in that position of lame duck.
Yeah.
But my brother, the political muscle of Uhuru Kenyatta, I'm sure this gentleman, they are jealous. What they are suffering from is now jealousy. Because who would not want that?
Yes.
The political muscle of President Kenyatta, the financial muscle
is immense.
Of President Kenyatta.
Yes.
Of the Kenyattas, of the Kenyatta loyalists. Come on. You cannot wish that away.
Yes.
And I feel for these people. But anyway, even opposition is government.
Mheshimiwa, hold that thought right there. Let's take this quick break right here on Punchline. We get back with the discussion.